Okay, welcome to the third and last video in this series about knowing your numbers, where we're talking about budgeting, estimating, and job costing. We're going to be talking about job costing here, obviously, in this last video. So I'm on this exact same calculator that I was on when I was building the estimate in the second video. So I'm just going to scroll down here a bit. So I was on the estimated tab when I was building the estimate. Now I'm going to be clicking over to the actual tab and just plugging in my actual values. So remember what I was saying about, like, when you actually go do the work, make sure that you keep all your receipts for all your materials. Make sure that you're tracking your hours each day, keeping record of that, so we have that information to plug in this calculator so we can job cost this job. So essentially, all I need to do is I can just click on any one of these work areas. They light up when I hover over them. I'll just click on one, and in my patio, I'm just going to take all of my receipts that I incurred from doing that job, total it all up, and let's say that I had $11,256. I'm just kind of making that up as a mock job costing here, but you'll have a real number from all of your receipts. And then I'm going to look down over all of my hours that I had in this patio and total all of that up. And let's say that I had 141.5 man hours in my actual record. And let's say that my equipment, I had to keep it for an extra part of a day because I didn't get done on day one, so my equipment's going to be was a little more. And my subcontractor that was cleaning up for me after I left was exactly what he quoted me. So I'm just basically plugging in all of my actual values in this pop-up. And when I hit save, it gives me the overall rundown of that work area. Now I'm going to click down into the second work area. I'm going to do the exact same thing. So my material costs were actually $1,100. I got a discount, and it didn't take me nearly as long as I thought it was going to. It's really easy to put in, and I don't have any equipment and subcontractors in my lighting, so I'm just going to hit save. Now, what's going on here is I can instantly see that, wow, I underbid this patio. My material was way higher. I had more labor in the actual side of this job. My equipment was slightly higher, and my subcontractor was just right on. When I go down to the lighting, I did great. I did just fine. In fact, I did better than I would hope for. I had 26% less material costs than I anticipated, and I did it in 36% less man hours than I anticipated. So what this is really useful for, it shows me in red and green exactly like where I was better or where I was worse than I had estimated. And when I scroll down here, I can see exactly like my estimated net profit versus my actual net profit. I can see my actual costs and what I charge the customer. And when I scroll down here to the bottom, this graph down here is really, really useful because, I have two work areas up there and it's broken out by each work area. Down here at the bottom, it's all aggregated into the same report. So I can be like, okay, let's take a look at this for a minute. So my gross profit was close. My net profit was kind of hurt. I didn't make as much net profit as I wanted. And when I look down through over here across labor, materials, equipment, subcontractors, like it breaks it out per class, so I can see like, well, why didn't I make the money that I wanted? Well, I can see that I was under on my estimate on hours. I was also under on my estimate on materials and equipment. Subcontracting was right on, and that shows me my overhead and break even estimated versus actual as well. So that's all there's to using this calculator to job cost. It's just after you built the estimate, you just pull the same thing back up and plug in all of your actual values, and it tells you exactly where you made money, lost money, where you were better than expected or worse than expected. So job costing is actually really easy. Like, you can see how I did that in just a minute or two to do. The hard part with job costing is collecting the data to job cost with. Like, remember when I was saying, like, keep track of all your hours and write it down each day, or keep all your receipts for all the materials you incur on that job? Probably a bunch of you were like, oh, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do that. You get the idea. It's painful. And that's where SyncedUp's app comes in. Like, we built these calculators for you. Like, let's say that you are just starting out in business. Maybe it's still a part-time gig for you, or you just haven't had, you're more focused on knowing your numbers, not really about efficiency yet. But if you're an owner or operator with a couple guys, you got a crew out there working every day, and you're not only looking to know your numbers and make sure you're priced for profit, but you're also looking for systems and processes to be super efficient. I feel like after knowing your numbers, the most overlooked aspect in how to run a profitable business is inefficiency. So looking for ways that I can save time, be more efficient, that I can then divert those hours saved back into production time for more billable jobs. So maybe if I learn how to save 5% of time over here by a better system or a better process, I can redivert that 5% of time into and get 3 or 4 more billable jobs done in a year and up my sales from that. That is one of the biggest areas that I feel like contractors are plagued with, is just overlooking areas that are causing a lot of inefficiency. And that's where you would want to consider, like, should I continue using these cool little web calculators for free, or should I go pay for an app to make this more efficient for me? And so what Synced Up as an app does, it takes your whole knowing your numbers game, but also adds a ton of efficiency to it with systems and processes. And what I mean by that is, like, you can create templates and production rates and drag and drop estimate builder, just far, far more advanced than this calculator. And you can send it off digitally as a proposal to a client that can sign off on it, accept it, and pay a down payment automatically right in the software. It also, when I was saying about writing down all the numbers of how many man hours you had each day, Synced Up's timekeeping app, you can just clock in and clock out, and it'll keep track of that automatically for you. And it also, through that process of clocking in and clocking out of each job, it also delivers all the job information and details to the crew doing it, designs, photos, details, material lists, notes, etc. But it also keeps track of the materials that are being used, and it automatically populates this job costing report without you having to do any manual data entry back here on this calculator. That's really, really powerful, because essentially, I often say, like, job costing itself is not hard. It just takes, you can do it in a few minutes in a spreadsheet or using this calculator. What's hard is collecting the data to job cost with. And job costing is a really critical component of running a healthy business, because, budgeting and estimating is key. That's like the foundation. We have to start to make sure that we're proposing our jobs price for profit. But then I need to know, did I make the money that I estimated I would make? And if I didn't, I need to figure out why. I need to have the information to figure out why I didn't make the money, so that I don't repeat the same mistake again the second time. So what happens often if you're not job costing is you don't find out that you weren't charging the right prices until you talk to your accountant at the end of the year. And by that time, it's far too late to do anything about it. If you're job costing every job, and Synced Up's app makes it super easy with automatically doing it for you, you don't only not know instantly, you can track that live as the job is being done. So at any time, you can open up the app and see, like, how you're tracking for hours. Like, are we, hey, we're 58% in hours. Are we going to get this done in time? And you can be in communication to talk about what can be done to make sure we come in under budget. So essentially, if you're looking for a way to become more efficient in your processes, hit us up, book a demo here on the website on syncedup.com, and we'll do a Zoom call with you. We'll show you the system, we'll answer your questions, and allow you to make an educated and informed decision for yourself. If you're just getting started and you just need to kind of wrap your head around knowing your numbers and making sure your estimates are priced for profit, and you're just not quite ready yet for an actual system, and you're not really worried about efficiency just yet, use these free calculators as long as you want. They're there for you to use. But otherwise, that basically concludes this series on budgeting, estimating, and job costing. I appreciate you coming through and watching. I hope it was valuable to you. I hope it was a lot of good information in there for you. I invite your feedback at any time. If you're ever getting stuck on any of these calculators, I invite you to leave a comment right here in the chat box. We'll jump on and give you a hand. Otherwise, I appreciate your time, and good luck on your season.